Welcome to my presentation. I will be going over a case study of a UI/UX project for an app called TinyPaws. For today, we will go over the project, the research that goes into the process from taking an idea all the way to final prototypes. This involves wireframing task flows and then building a style guide. Lastly, we will go over the reflection of the key learnings that I have so far from this class and this project. So, hi, my name is Gianna Calderon. I'll be going over my project today with you. First, let's take a look at what TinyPaws is. This is a habit tracking app that aims to celebrate small wins and baby steps, therefore, the name TinyPaws. Its goal is to encourage self improvement, catering to people with a shorter attention span or smaller gratification system. As for this case study, we will investigate the processes involved in creating this project. And the goal of this case study is to understand the reasoning behind the design choices, and we'll go over the key learnings from this project. So, the goals of TinyPaws is to build and retain a user base, generate results for each user with quantifiable measurements. And then we have a few features in the app as well to contribute to this goal. We want to visualize these results to tell great stories, to inspire other people in the community in the user base. Lastly, in order to have build and retain a user base, we will have responsive design that works well with different viewports. For the research, we have made of empathy research where we interviewed potential users to understand the problem space. We also want to build empathy with potential users, gain insights about their lifestyles, their pain points, their goals, their personality traits, and so on and so forth, which I will go over in a bit. So here on the right, I have here a few interview questions. This is a snippet, and we have a few participants as well as their responses. The primary characteristics of the users for this research are people who want to improve. It might be a habit, a hobby, maybe it's a lifestyle choice as well. So let's take a look at an empathy map as well. From the user reviews or interviews, I have found that there are people with common pain points. Sometimes there are things that what they say, think, feel, and do have a common ground. And so I have created an empathy map, which kind of summarizes the ideal user for this project. And after that, we have also honed down a little bit of the personas if we want to see a little bit more details as opposed to a centralized empathy map. Here in the personas, we have not only the age, their education, their profession, it can also involve their location, their personality traits, what their goals are, as well as their pain points and frustrations. We can also take a look at their current habits. This is key for us to understand what their needs are and what should our app provide for these people. We have also made use of POV questions, such as one of our users, Jacob. He's a busy professional and he needs to track his habits without feeling too overwhelmed. He has told us that traditional habit tracking apps are too rigid, almost too punitive, that he feels guilty for missing a day, and this fear of failure discourages him from improving his habits. We've also made use of how might we questions in order to fine tune what we want out of this app. Let's start from how I turn my ideas into task flows. I made use of this exercise called Crazy 8 where I just sketched all my ideas into a piece of paper. And I also made use of task flows, which is a flow chart from start to finish what a task would look like with using the app. What I found out from these assignments or exercises is that Crazy 8 is a great exercise to turn abstract ideas into a tangible format. Creating the flowcharts help break down the ideas further into steps. And then this also shows us the changes in the user interface interactions, which helps us with wireframing. So I started with low fidelity wireframing. I have a lot of notes here as well. The goal is to really just put a layout and an idea from the task flows. See and visualize what this is going to look like. From here, I have received feedback as I showed this to potential users. We have that the wireframes need more pages in between. We also have found that I did not put back buttons. We're also finding it that it's confusing to know if the app is loading, and there are some interfaces or components where there's confusion on how to interact with them, such as the progress bars. So I have improved the next stage of the wireframing with the medium fidelity wireframes. So I added key pages in between. I added a loading splash page. I added checkbox or other buttons. And yeah, we have back buttons now. So let's go over the style guide. I've created a typography and I use sans serif so it'd be clean and simple. As for the color palette, I made use of cool tone colors that encourage a calming psychological effect. Same with the components as well. As for the prototypes, I will be playing a demo. This is a demonstration of a task flow with Figma using prototypes. As you can see, you can access over here the app through the thumbnail, or we can either receive a message that we can access from notifications. This takes us to a chatbot. As you can see, we have options. We have a positive or negative feedback. Let's start with doing well. We get a GIF, and we get the rest of the messages. We can either go back, go home, or click, so it takes us to home. From here, another task flow I want to go over is the skill tree and the reward system. So from here, as you can see, we have a bunch of options with the thumbnails over here. We can also customize our experience by clicking Add Skill. Let's access one of the pages. So it takes us to dance, and then we have a progress bar over here. It tells us we have 2 more tasks until next level. Let's say we complete 2 tasks, 1 and 2, and then we can claim our reward. From here, we have a few options that we have preset from setting up this skill. We can access custom reward, a steak, ice cream, or cake. And then let's say we choose one of them, and then now your choice is logged in your history. Let's go back to home. And so now let's go over the reflection of what I've learned in this class and this project. I have learned so much more than I can imagine. I have learned about understanding the users by making use of interviews and making research based decisions. And this is for the goal of making a really smooth user experience. I have also started studying other mobile apps and browsers to understand better best practices for a smoother user experience. I'm really liking Figma. It's a great tool for layout of the designs and also for prototyping. And I want to keep practicing by making use of this in my future projects, maybe for future game jams or even just to make apps and mobile web designs. I also noticed that my design skills have improved a lot, and I have also now started prioritizing the users, really empathizing with them in order to make my design choices. And that is my presentation. Thank you so much for watching.